And here we are in the upper right, in the red. He is the player for Team GP. He's the Zerg player. He's Loki. And his partner, that master of Protoss cheese that almost cannon rushed Maru out of a game of the GSL, in the red as well. He's Prince. And on the flip side, in the blue, he is the Zerg player. He's Jig. And finally, his partner, the one you've all been waiting for. He's the Protoss player, formerly of Psystorm Gaming. I don't know if he's still signed there. Poison, please tell me. In the blue, he's the Protoss player. He's Semper. And I am, of course, curious to learn how passing the bar is actually raising the bar of his Protoss play. Was he on route? Oh, never mind. Okay. For some reason, I thought he was on Psystorm. No, yeah, that's right. For some reason, back in the day, I always thought of Semper as a like Oceanic Australian player, which is not correct, and I don't know who I have him confused with. But anyway, we have our players getting ready here. As that's actually a rather aggressive third base, but of course Semper says no, you don't get your natural, you don't get the easy to defend base here. Man, I vaguely remember Gravity. It is a really cool map. The lights and everything make it rather pretty, as the lights trace the direction pretty much to every map or every base that you can reasonably take. What, you mean you don't like getting just absolutely blinded by lines on the map? That's not annoying for you? So it looks like in exchange we will have Semper. He says, okay, it's fine. You know, I'm okay with having my base delayed for the moment. I do not want to take that aggressive base. That is a bit too scary for me, and that's absolutely fine. 10 times brighter. Can I do that? Do I have gamma? Oh, I can actually. Color correction. Here you go. Wait, actually, no, this is the one. There we go. 10 times brighter. So we do have a bunch of Zerglings streaming. Okay, let me fix this before this gets out of whack. There we go. A bunch of Zerglings now streaming their way on into the base, or yeah, there is no wall here, so on into the main base here of Semper Jig. Semper Jig, they have to hold this if they want to have any chance. More and more Zerglings on the way. One Stalker will get taken out immediately, and with the Adepts here as well, they're getting a decent amount of damage. You are you know what? I was told I did not have to have a delay here on this stream. I was told that it was okay, that I can be a bit more casual, so that is what you get, Sugar. That is absolutely what you get there. Now, blame Poison, not me. But anyway, we do have some more aggression coming in here from Loki, from Prince. How many probes died? Only 5. Only 5 probes. Not the end of the world, but it looks like this third base will be delayed. I don't believe... Actually, now with the Banelings getting shut down, looks like Semper and Jig will have the ability to hold this. And behind this, both Zerg player has 3 bases, Protoss player has 2. And sure, they're a little bit late, but that's still a pretty excellent scenario here. As it looks like a run by did a decent amount of damage through 2 more workers do go down. And actually, coming out of this, okay, assuming you don't explode on that Baneling, there we go. Thank you, Jig. Assuming that they come out of this the way they do and they don't die to whatever follow-up happens, Semper and Jig, they're in a pretty good situation here in this game number 1. As now they swarm around the map, looking to do some counter damage of their own. A bunch of Stalkers, a bunch of Banelings, a bunch of Zerglings. And of course, the trick here is you send the Stalkers forward first to try to take care of any Banelings, or at least the Banelings forward. And then the Zerglings surround, because Zerglings are good against, well, they're good against Stalkers, but Banelings are good against Zerglings. But now, look, there are no more Banelings left here, and now the army of Semper, of Jig, they're going to find their way in. Banelings are going to just destroy this, what's it called? There we go, shield battery, and everything's going to go down. Blink is going to be delayed as well. Zerglings are going to surround the Stalkers here, and what does Prince have? What do Prince and Loki have left? The answer is not a whole lot. Not right now. The third base is ready to be forfeited. Prince chases out, Loki chases out, and Jig Semper. They take game number 1. And wow. I apologize for my struggle to talk this evening. Hopefully it will get better as the night goes on. I've not done a lot of talking the last couple days. I've just spent a lot of time in the lab or working on code. And when you sit there, you don't talk a lot. Unfortunately. Now we're ready. I wonder if I use a different overlay, whether I will actually have team colors. So, server interface. Maybe this will work. I need to go and get myself. I need to set up some more emotes. Right now, all I have is the one, but nothing more than that. So we just gotta wait there. But I am not artistic. And massive shout out to Sunlily, of course, from Alpha X, who did all my overlays. They turned out really nicely. But yeah, other than that, I'm not artistic, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I have like 2 or 3 more emote slots, something like that. All depends on sub points. And I forget where I am doing with that. But anyway, our players, they're loaded on in to game number 2. And yeah, let's get it. Here we go. Spawning in the upper left. In the red for Team GP. He's the Zerg player. He's Loki. And his partner, also in the red, playing Protoss for Team GP as well. It's Prince. I mean, you're better than I am. Like, if you made those yourself, jeez, that is far more than I can do. I can program robots. I cannot build emotes. But anyway, here we are in the bottom right. In the blue, up 1 game to 0 against the duo from Team GP. He's the Zerg player. He's Jig. And last but not least, he is the Protoss player, formerly of Root, now just raising the bar. Give it up for Semper. And on the other side of the map, well, actually on this side of the map is the only important thing is we do have Prince. He's going for a cannon rush. And again, I do apologize for the different overlays. I was trying to see whether I would be able to actually see player colors, but apparently that is not the case. As now we do have Prince. He's trying to get a cannon rush down. This cannon actually is a really nice spot here. That is, only 2 probes can get surface area to it, so that's rather annoying. But we do already have Stalkers being chroned on the way. It looks like, however, it does look like Semper is going to be giving up this position. He's going to have this one zealot out, and then he will eventually lose. Well, actually, no. So the one cannon is just going to, it's going to finish, but just barely. This, okay, the pylon, this is a cannon from Prince. So Prince's cannons will survive. But this is, we do have a counter cannon rush here coming from Semper as well. And that should be fine. I don't think we're going to be able to see Prince be able to push any further in here. Gate will go down. But yeah, with the cannons that are done here, no more cannon push is going to be possible. Although Semper will lose that pylon, so this forward cannon, I don't believe we'll be able to do things. But of course, Zerglings are on the way here as well. This is not just a one-punch. This is not just a one-punch man. Yeah, there we go. So pylon not perfectly placed. And it looks like Prince now wants to try to do what he can to wall off the high ground from the low ground. That's going to be rather annoying. We're going to have to see Semper do what he can to slow push cannons away. But for the moment, he does have good defense on the low ground. We're going to see I would actually like to see a drone come out of there, build a spine. That would be pretty nice. And now we do have Prince. He's pushing cannons. Once again, he will be able to push cannons out of range of this cannon here. But now with the Zerglings, they've found their way onto the high ground. And that means the cannons won't be able to get up. The Zerglings are now into the base, or into the mineral line of Semper as well. And unfortunately for Semper, he's the one that is bearing the brunt of this. That being said, though, nice drone drill. And with the cannon here in the mineral line, he will be absolutely fine. So where does that put us? These cannons are annoying, but they are not the end of the world. They are not enough cannons here to kill anything that cycles by. Just bruise it just a little. So Semper, he's not going to have a natural for a bit. Prince does. I think that is the biggest of issues, although that was not cycled properly. I don't know why Jig is microing this as well. I mean, he can get it through. It's fine. Yeah, he's being a little bit too fancy there. That is not what he needs to do. The way the drones were. I mean, check your drones, dude. Not really. He hasn't really noticed this, but the way the drones work, well, the way the pathing works, only one cannon shot hits. However, of course, oh, that's gonna be a nice bailing hit. There we go. And now we do have a third base on the way here for Jig as well. He says, look, if Semper's not a lot of natural, at least I can take a third and I can start feeding him some money maybe. As we are waiting for Semper to make a decision from a tech perspective. He has one stalker out. He has a gate. Okay, now we're just going to have the Zerglings. They're going to surround this. Do what they can. Get rid of this high ground cannon, which is just causing so many issues for circulation. And now we do have this stalker. Well, the stalker can't kill. But the stalker can kill this pylon off, which means there's nothing up. The high ground's not there, which means the low ground will eventually be able to get cleaned up. So that is nice for our blue team. And now they just need to make sure that they can defend their third base. Semper, he's got a natural on the way here. It is an exposed position, so that is a scary thing for him. But he does have an opportunity here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the most money yet, as now we have a bunch of banelings going on in. Not a great baneling shot. But now we have the banelings on the backside. And yeah, so the stalker won't be able to clean that up. Pretty nice baneling shot there. And Prince Loki, they're just piling on the aggression once again. And the banelings, of course, will be more out of vision. That is something. And nice baneling shots there from our red Zerg player, doing what he can. But now the banelings have been found, so these banelings should not complete. There we go. They're going to be fine. A couple Zerglings are going to rotate around. But at this point, these are scouting Zerglings, not anything else. And this Spore Crawler decision is interesting. It's blind. That's fair. I mean, Jig Semper have had no opportunity to scout anything whatsoever. But I guess, if you're worried about DTs, worried about Void Rays, it's fine. Yeah, no, you're right. That is Semper's base. No 5 bases, but I would not be surprised to see Semper take his third. Well, I mean, he has a pretty safe third now, so not the end of the world at all. But I think we do maybe need to see some sort of wall off. You can't even wall that off. And with the Zerg taking this base here, you can't wall that off either. So this is just going to be an incredibly exposed Protoss base for the rest of this game. And now the cannons finally do go down. So what do we have here? Loki, he is going to his lair is just about done, sitting here on 2 bases. Third base on the way. I'm pretty sure we're just going to see mutas, because that is what I've seen from Prince and Loki literally every game that I've seen Loki get on into the mid game. At least, and I've seen the 15 of their 2v2 games. So, lair is done. There we have it. Spire on the way. And what we're going to see here is Prince, once the Spire is done, he's going to say, here's all my gas, Loki. Build a lot of mutas. Establish map control for me. That is absolutely valid. Behind this, of course, Prince, he says, okay. Blink is good, +1 is good. And so we're going to see a blink, +1 blink muta composition here for our not even Zerg Protoss team. This is, of course, a true mirror matchup. Well, not a true mirror matchup, but it is a 2v2 mirror matchup. And now Jig Semper, they finally have the opportunity to move out on the map to establish some control that has been so lacking for themselves this game. It looks like Semper's getting ready to take a third as well, take advantage of that defensive position. Does he have blink? He does not. But he does have a third on the way. Now with a whole ton of Stalkers here moving their way across the map, they have blink. They have almost that +1. So this is a scary army. We do have a couple spines pushing forward. So this really, this avenue should not be an aggressive one. Not really. Nice force fields there. We'll be able to shave off Stalker before everything blinks back. Now the third base is done here for Prince. Third base, a third of the way done for Semper. So Semper, not in the best position. That being said, Jig's in a pretty good spot. Now we have 12 meters on the way, so that is the next scary thing. Jig has nothing with which to counter. As well, he's going for both attack upgrades, melee and range. So he will have a terrifying ground army. The scary thing, of course, is the fact that meters are now on the way, and there's not a whole lot of anti-air. There is no blink, there are no stargates, there is no spire. And sure, there's a cannon in some of the mineral lines. Only in the main, actually. And yes, there are spores in every natural, but with the amount of mutas that we will see here, the spores will not hold our red Zerg player for very long. But of course, if you're committing everything to mutas, you're not going to have a whole lot else. Certainly not anything that forces gas. So there is maybe an opportunity for Jig Semper to move across the map as these mutas do show up, but they will, of course, they're going to start. Well, queens do die. That means less production here for the Zerg player. Baneling Nest is going to go down as well, and that means no centrifugal hooks. The Banelings are going to be incredibly difficult for Banelings to get anything done this game. And these mutas have already paid for themselves just a little. The spores, of course, they're not incredibly placed to deal with this either. All right, but now we have cannons going down, double Stargate. And I thought a Twilight Council, but I believe that was canceled. No, okay, it finished just kind of the last second. And now we do have a couple mutas dying. Meanwhile, we do have the fight in the front here going down. 1-1. 1-1 Ling Road Ravager. A terrifying ground army, but they do need to get back. And they are absolutely in the choke here. So the mutas will just be able to kill off all these Raptors, which is not a great trade whatsoever for our blue Zerg player. And now the question is whether Loki, whether Prince, they've found their timing. A whole bunch of Blink Stalkers, a whole bunch of mutas now find their way across the map. And the army supplies here are not all that great. 81 and 73 versus a grand total of 140 versus a grand total of 90. Now moving their way across the map. Mutas and Lings, they're going to look around on the right-hand side, see if they can take this fourth base out. And they absolutely will be able to do so. The question is how much more will happen. DRGLing's going to find their way, going to go up high ground, but with the mutas here, they're really not going to be able to get a whole lot done as the fight in the front happens, pushes forward as well. Now, Jig, he's got a good bank. He does. That is a bank that he absolutely does have to spend. And Semper, I mean, he's going for high-tech units. These are not bad. We're going to see Phoenix Disruptor blink on the way as well. So eventually they'll have what they need to deal with it. But the question is, will they have suffered too much by then? As Nemut is running on into the main base here. Triple Spore, 3 queens. So this should be fine for the moment. But of course, when you have mutas in this number, the queens are not enough. See, the Cybercore is going to go down as well. So there are Phoenix now on the map, but they do get a little bit too close. There is no anti-pulse crystals. How many Phoenix do we have? Only 2 Phoenix on the map here. And then, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you're rooting on, some of the mutas do run through the triple spore there. So a couple mutas do go down, and Stalkers are going to blink after them and follow them. But what do we have from an upgrades perspective? It is 1-1. It is +1 for both sides. It's 2-1 here for the Zerg. But this is really just snowballing out of control. About 200 total army supply for our red team. About 150, really close to 130 for our blue team. So that's not a great situation to be at all. Now the mutas are just going to be able to jump on top of these Phoenix, find them all, and going double Stargate without, say, +1. Of course, not that +1 really matters here, but double Stargate without +1, without any pulse crystals, it makes life rather difficult here. As the mutas, the Lings, they're just going to jump on top of everything that the Protoss has. As the Protoss army, it's going to find itself on the right-hand side, crushing through the middle, and everything is flashing, everything is dying at once. Jig and Semper really don't look like they have what they need. They got a whole lot of money, but they don't have the production to spend it. The third base of our Zerg will go down here. Zerglings, they're going to surround a Colossus and kill that off. Actually, yeah, okay, there we go. 1 Colossus does go down, but there are still 3 remaining as the mutas, they do reign supreme here on the third base of Semper. So it's a 2-base Zerg, a 2-base Protoss versus 3-base and 3-base respectively. And there we have GG. We're moving on to game number 3. I know you said nose poison, but I much prefer seeing a 3-game best of 3 than a 2. So the question here is, what are we going to see in this game number 3? Game number 1, Semper Jig, they hit with a early to mid game timing. They won the game off. But game number 2, Prince and Loki, they went all in. They denied They denied the mining. Do I not have sound turned on? There we go. Sound. That's not. I don't know why sound was off. They denied mining for quite a while from Semper, and then eventually they just hit that timing of +1 blink stalker mute him. And in doing so, well, they won the game. That was just off that incredibly crisp timing with about 15 to 20 muters and a bunch of blink stalkers. The question is, what are we going to see here in this game number 3? Both players doing well off of timings game 1, game 2. Well, that is for some of us to know and some of us to find out as well. The players, they are okay. Looks like Prince and Loki did ask for a 1-minute break. So bracket updates here. Massive Air Refugee did forfeit out of the losers bracket. We do have Silent Ghost Maxi against Spy Starkiller happening right now in the lower bracket. Winner of that plays the loser of the Retired Folks Team Walrus game. So Team Walrus is Practice X's team. Retired Folks, I actually don't know who's on that. If Sugar can tell me. Oh, there we go. We have a go-go. Critical Nug and Infinity. Thank you. Anyway, so the loser of that plays Prototype 450. No, sorry. Plays winner of Silent Ghost Maxi Spy Starkiller. Okay. Jake saying go. I'm assuming he's part of his team. So there we go. And the loser of this match plays Prototype 450, I believe. That's how this bracket's going to work out. Oh, shoot. Put that in the wrong spot. I updated my going live notification instead of my my stream title. So that should be fixed as we move on in here into game number 3. All right, our players, they're loaded into this game number 3 on heavy artillery, so let's get into it. And here we are, spawning in the upper right. In the red, he's the Zerg player. He's Loki. And his partner, also in the red, representing Team GP. He's Prince. And on the other side of the map, in the blue, give it up for Jig. And last but not least, in the blue, his partner. He's Semper. And while we do have a more standard opening coming from our red team this time around, and I'm sorry that the things are messed up here, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have... This is just a StarCraft thing. Control X does not swap teams in 2v2, unfortunately. Hey, thanks for the following. Thanks for the follow, Night Toad. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. Anyway, what do we got here? As well, and hey, Messi, thank you as well. So what do we got? Loki did go for an expansion. All right, I know, right? It's it's not quite a sub-train. I've never seen one of those happen in the wild, but well, I've seen it happen in the wild. Never seen one of those happen on my channel. But a follow train is nice too. I will not complain in the slightest. As we do have a gas steal here from Prince, which is a bit annoying. It will, of course, delay the tech, any sort of tech that Semper wants to go for, but he does have an expansion on the way. So no big deal there. Should be all fine. I'm not really trying to do anything too aggressive anyways. So yeah, we do have speed on the way. Oh, I'm sorry. There's one thing I must change. This overlay was set up And no one told me about this. Overlay was set up for 1v1 or for a different overlay. And now it's not. So I apologize for that. I changed overlays to try to make sure things would work properly, but it just didn't happen. As even a drone has been pulled from Jig to me. Ah! I forgot about that. Yeah, so this is something you can do. Where you take the cheapest extractor. You take the cheapest gas mining thing, and you build it. So assimilators are 75 minerals. These are 50. So you say, hey, look, I'll reimburse you. Mine out of this. And of course, Semper does have the ability to mine out of his the friendly gas geyser. So that's a pretty cool little bit of optimization that you do see specifically in ZP teams. So speed is just about done here for Jig. Speed is just about done here for Loki as well, which means it's that timing where we will be able to see, we're going to start seeing some aggression. It's that 27-ish, 26, 27 drone mark that you do see in ZBC as the kind of the line of demarcation where you do see Zergs go and they start spamming lings, get a little bit aggressive if that is their goal in the game, and it's no different here in 2v2. Because there are a bunch of Zerglings on the map, and one thing I will say is, man, Loki Prince have done such a better job of ensuring that they have map vision in this game. The Overlords are in the proper positions, and now we have a bunch of Banelings waddling their way in here, but with the Stalkers, with the Spine, they really shouldn't be able to get in, because that Baneling does fail to connect. But the question is not whether they get in, the question is, what do you do once Zerglings run in? And yeah, so we will have a couple of depths find their way on into Semper's mineral line, and this is where we do see the first cracks showing. A couple workers will go down post-haste. The Zerglings will get on top of this rather quickly, so not much going to go down. Well, as I say that, 6 probes do go down, so that is absolutely pretty damaging damage? Yeah, sure. Excellent work there from our red team, but look at the end of the day, Semper was ahead on workers before that. So really that just equalizes things out. And it looks like we're going to see, there we go, we're going to see, we're going to see that second gas taken, but I don't know. And someone's going to have to tell me. Is why you do 1 and 1. Why you don't say just take double gas. Why you don't take a double extractor. Instead of one extractor, one assimilator, because I get the appeal of, getting the cheaper thing. But I don't know. That's weird. I don't know if Sugar knows or any of the 2v2. I think there are a couple 2v2 names in the chat right now. But anyway. Oh, hey! Night Toad, thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed. I appreciate you. If there's anything you ever need, please let me know. Okay, so the Zerglings here will be found out by the Zerglings of Semper, and they're going to be shut down. Mainly do a good job to kill the rest of it off. Now we just have a bunch of Zerglings, a bunch of Stalkers moving their way across the map here, and when you look at army supplies, Loki Prince, they do have a scarier army. But of course, they're a supply block for the moment, and now we're going to see Loki. We're going to see Duke Semper do what they can to try to defend it. With the 2 spines in the front, they should be able to do that. Although, you see, yeah. So we do have a blink here from Prince. Blink not quite done here for Semper, so they will be able to trade better for the moment. We do have 1 spine moving back. I don't really know how I feel about that uproot, but it should be okay. All the Zerglings do go down, and this should be a hold for Jig for Semper. And Jig, he's banking a lot of minerals. It doesn't really have his gas mining fully ready yet. But there we go. Jig, his Spire is on the way. Loki's Spire just a little bit faster now. As +1 is now, or not +1. +1 is now on the way here for our Blue Protoss player, but more importantly, Blink is now done, so he can trade equally well, theoretically, with Prince. So Duke Semper, they're in a better economic spot. Well, as I say that, Prince Loki behind this they were droning, they were probing, so they're fine now. But Spire is just about done here. +1 attack on the way for Loki. So there's an opportunity for Jig to get Carapace and just have units that fight better. But now the Mutas are flying their way on into undefended bases, undefended territory. And Zerglings, they're going to look to do what they can to surround, but they're Baneling here. That's not all that useful. But Semper actually gets a great blink forward. The question is whether it's enough. Is that we have a couple Stalkers, they're going to be warped in. And that's a great intermediary step. But, I mean, the Stalkers, they just die as they warp in. So now we have the rest of the Stalkers of Semper. They're going to show up here. And now Mutas are on the way as well. And once we see this final round of Mutas complete, that's what we're going to have to see. Nice Zergling counterattack, but will not get anything done as the Spine here is there to sink aggro. So 12 Mutas for Loki, 6 Mutas for Prince. Or 6 Mutas for Jig. And there, he does have Carapace on the way. And I do like that. But how many Mutas do we have on this side of the map? There we go. That is 11 Mutas versus the 8. So still not a trade that our blue Zerg can take for the most part, but a better fight than what they would take later on. What we can see here is Prince, for the moment, he has been feeding his opponent. He was able to feed his opponent or his partner a ton of gas to make sure that he got into that Muta count that he wanted. ASAP, 18 done, more on the way. But now, well, look, we do see him making use of his own gas, and we do see that double Stargate, double Robo style that Prince loves so much to play in these 2v2 matches. He just gets a lot of Colossi and a lot of, I believe generally it's Phoenix, and it can be difficult to deal with, to say the least. So now what do we have? +1 air is now done for Loki. +1 Carapace is only halfway done. So there's going to be a time where the Mutas are theoretically better, but again, it's only 10 to 23. And that is a bit scary for me. Does Jig just not have larva? Yeah, it looks like he's just struggling from a larva perspective. I mean, he has the money. He just needs to be able to spend it. It's the 4th base will get canceled for the Protoss player. Or I guess that's the 3rd base for the Protoss player. Will get canceled. As a Zerg and Protoss for a red team, they are mining out of. They both have 3 bases, so they're fine there. 4th base now on the way. Well, no, 4th base on the way for Prince, not for Loki. And on the meters, they're going to cycle around, and they're just doing a great job of establishing map control, making life as annoying as possible for our blue team. But I mean, haven't taken a ton of damage. Well, as I say that, 26 workers go down, but now the Zerglings have found their way on into the mineral lines of both our Zerg and our Protoss player on the right-hand side. So let's check this. 18 drones have gone down, 8 probes. And really no workers have gone down for Jig. Just Semper's taking a tremendous economic hit. So I think at the end of the day, it's just about equal, right? Hey, thanks for the follow, Undefeatable. Unfortunately, I do not speak Korean. I'm just assuming that that's who you are based off of what Twitch says you are. That's cool. You see the light there, the shadow? That's not something you see on 1v1 maps. That's pretty cool. So this attempted 3rd base will get canceled once again. Now we have a Muta versus Muta fight, and this is not a fight. Well, now it's Phoenix here. Yeah, this is not a fight that Jig was ever going to win, as he just did not have the Muta count that he needed. It had not been consistently producing them. So what? He's lost 28 Mutas. That's a terrible situation to be in. And now what do we have? 22 Mutas on the map here for Loki, and nothing really to defend against them. Not really. Stalkers are going to be in a good position, so a couple more will go down, but map control is absolutely in the favor of our red team. And the Protoss really is unable to get a 4th base. Well, it's not a good situation whatsoever. Now we do have, this is of course Blink Stalker Disruptor. And Disruptors are incredible comeback units, but Disruptors, they don't shoot up. So Stalkers are not going to sit here once again. More and more workers will go down, but you know, when you only have 2 bases, and really they're not mining, what does it really matter if you lose a couple more workers? Now the Spines are going to burrow up once again. These Disruptors will not, well, actually that one will stay alive. And Prince not migrating too much at the moment, but with this massive Zergling flanker, everything's going to be forced to stay in position, and this army should just go down in its entirety. But as I say, that looks like there are some Banelings with that I missed. No Mutas left though, or very few. Actually, no, there they are. And now the Mutas, they're just going to jump on top of these Disruptors, do what they can. But the Fungals are there, and the Fungals are absolutely in a good position to maybe get something done. A nice Disruptor shot, and this is such a hard fight. Not a hard fight to call. I mean, Loki and Prince, they are coming out of here in flying colors, but it's a hard fight to commentate. It's a hard fight to cast. As so many things are getting called at once. As now we do have the army of Prince. It's found its way, and the one Colossus that is left is worth its weight in gold. and there's just not a whole lot here. Stalker's going to blink on top of the Colossus. Colossus is going to go down, but this is, and these are +2 Stalkers versus +1 of the Zerg player. But the question is really, this is more of a game of economy than anything else. Jig and Semper, they have a powerful army, or they did. Most of it's been taken out. But there we have it, GG. As I was going to say, they don't have the economy to support it. And Prince Loki, they're moving on to the Winners Bracket Finals.